Bortle here. Just want to give a quick shout out to William for sending his top 4 deck profile over to me so I can have it uploaded and showcase it to the world, to Bortle Nation. Unfortunately, the venue was closing down, so I was not able to film it in person. But again, thanks William for sending it. So without further ado, please take it away, William.
Who are you, and what did you do this weekend?
My name is William Boyles Kramer, and I made 4th place at the Houston Regional with Floowandereeze. Let's go ahead and start with the main deck. 2 Empen, Standard, 1 Ryza, 1 Apex, and 1 Barrier Statue. I've seen some lists that were playing 2 Barrier Statue, but I don't really think that's necessary, just because I've never been in a situation where I couldn't just Ryza, put back the Barrier Statue, and then like put it at top of deck, or like recycle it that way. I've never been in a situation where I needed the second one. And then for the little birds, we did 3 eagle, 3 robin, 2 ostrich, and 1 toucan. Again, pretty standard. I've seen some lists that cut this to 1. I don't think that's appropriate game 1, just because you want as many little birds to reveal off of map or banish for advent as possible. There were games where the Stry got sided out for like a DD Crow in certain matchups, but I think main decking 2 is probably fine. And then on to the rest of the monsters, 3 Shifter, 3 Ash. I knew Despia was going to have a lot of showing in this event, just because it's like a brand new deck and a lot of people are theorying it right now. So I wanted, instead of playing board breakers that just lose to Despia, like Lightning Storm and Dark Ruler, I wanted like medium impact hand traps like Ash that would stop the Eluber, stop the opening, or stop the Brendan Fusion. I figured that was more important given how prevalent Despia was going to be, and then Shifter is obviously just like the best card in your deck. Out of the 9 rounds I played, I only saw Shifter in my opening maybe 2 of those 9 rounds. Anyone who says that Floowandereeze has to see Shifter to play just doesn't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, it helps, it's a win button, but you don't have to see it to play. I didn't see it at all. And then onto the spells. 3 map, 3 advent, and then the 1 unexplored winds. For the Floowandereeze spells, nothing really needs to be explained there. That's all pretty standard. And then for the other spells, 3 prosperity, 3 duality, 2 Book of Moon, and then the 1 called by. The 2 books, I thought about playing 3, but I just couldn't think of a card to cut for it, and the idea of playing 41 made me want to pull my teeth out. So I stuck to 40 and I just played the 2 book. I think going forward, I would really try to find a spot for the 3rd one, just because book was really good this weekend. There were a lot of boards, like I played Infernoble around 9, and he would end on like Savage, Herald, like some number of disruptions, and all it took is like a book, and like it just trades 1 for 1 into a lot of boards, and it's really good this format into boards like that. So yeah, I would definitely try to find space for the 3rd one. And then traps, the last 3 hand traps, the Imperms, and then the Dreaming Town. Again, I just wanted like medium to low impact hand traps that would interact with the Despia board like before they got to it. You could also draw it for your 6th card, and it's like it can trade 1 for 1, kind of like Book of Moon. So I basically had 5 cards in my deck that I can draw as my 6th card going second that can interact with opponent's boards and break the boards, burn through disruptions. It was, I think Imperm was much better than something like Lightning Storm or Dark Ruler, just because it can interact with the Despia board before they establish their board. It can stop the Eluber, it can stop them from getting to Brand Diffusion, it stops them from building the board in the first place, which I think is a lot better than like the board breakers this format. And then onto the extra deck. I didn't summon a single card out of the extra deck once, but it was here just in case I needed it. The Assembled, Downer, Zeus, and then Entis targets, Nova, Omega, Entis, Mechaba. If you get Maximus, it's probably not going to happen, but you know, Invoked is still, there are some people out there that still think that deck is good. And then these are Maximus targets, but they're also Reaper targets, because I side Reaper. For Reaper, I have the 2 Tri-Brigades, the Meow Meow, the Kagari, the Halka-Fibrax, the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and the Lebellion. And then just like a random flex spot was the Ensemble. Literally none of these came up every time I sided a Reaper. I didn't draw it once, so this effectively could have just been like 15 random fusion monsters, and it would have been effectively exactly the same. So speaking of Reaper, let's go into the side deck super fast. I played a bunch of hand traps in the side. I did the DD Crow, as earlier mentioned, the 2 Bells, and then the 3 Reapers. The only one of these that actually mattered all event was the Crow, just because it was searchable. So going second into boards where DD Crow was relevant, an Ostrich would come out and a DD Crow would go in. Just because it's another hand trap I can like open, and if I don't open it, I can search it into my combo, like assuming I can like break the board. The Crow wasn't bad. I just feel like there were situations where the Bell would have been better. I didn't play any pranks, but if I had, the Bell would have been preferred. I played a good amount of Despia, but in that matchup, Crow is just as good as Bell. So the 2-in-1 didn't really matter there. But yeah, hand traps. And then we also did some back row hate. So 3 twin and 3 evenly. I only played 1 like back row deck all event. I played like an Eldritch, my Akashi, not a real deck, like round 2. But other than that, I didn't really play against any back row all weekend. So these were kind of unnecessary in retrospect. It would have been helpful hypothetically for a trap deck or like a mirror match or something, but I didn't play a single mirror all weekend either, so that was irrelevant. And then the last card in the side deck, the God card, Featherstorm. This card needs to be banned on the principle that it limits the card design of every like future Wing Beast archetype that ever gets made. They just literally cannot make a Wing Beast archetype that revolves around trap cards with this card being in the game. It's just not fair. So this should be banned. It basically went in every time I knew it was going first. I would just take out the Imperm for the Featherstorm. And yeah, that's the list.
What did you lose to?
I lost, I think it was round 6 to Hector on the Tri Brigade deck. He soul read the Christ out of me game 1 and gammed a Robin when I had no other birds in hand. Like he gammed like the banish effect to return to my hand. He gammed that when I had no other birds in hand, so I resolved my Eagle to search and then just couldn't normal summon, so I lost game 1 off of that. And then game 3 he had Tikaboo and I didn't have any back row removal. I've noticed that's a weakness of the deck. If you side for monsters, you'll lose to back row, and if you side for back row, you'll lose to monsters. So that's like a kind of frustrating thing that I noticed for the deck. Basically every game 2 and 3, if you think you might be going second, because of the Branded Fusion, Necroworld, Banshee bullshit, you basically have to have either like Twin or Cosmic or something like chainable back row removal in your deck, or you will just lose to Zombie World. That didn't happen to me all weekend. I just didn't play against anyone that owned those cards for some reason. So, you know, that was nice. But yeah, every game 2 and 3 when you think you're going second, you just have to have back row removal in your deck, or you will lose to like that stuff, or you'll lose to like random floodgates like Tikaboo. Gozen kind of hurts, so that's like an issue that I noticed for the deck. I wouldn't really change anything going forward, even based off of that loss. But out of the 9 rounds I played, I only dropped 4 games: 2 to Hector, 1 to a striker player, and then 1 to the guy I played round 9 on the Infernobles. The deck was really solid. I don't really think I would change anything other than potentially finding space for that 3rd Book of Moon in the main deck, and then also maybe tweaking the side deck. I'm sure Reaper is good in theory, but it just didn't come up all weekend. But yeah, the list was pretty solid.
Any shout-outs?
If I've ever play tested with you at locals, shout-outs to you. So like James Lawson, Aaron McInnes, Darian Crevier, my boy Adam just started playing a lot. He's getting really good really fast, so shout-outs to him for actually practicing and taking like everyone's advice and improving with the game. Shout-outs to Michael, who had to drop like round 7 or 8 at X01 because he had assignments to turn in. Shoutouts to him. He should have topped 2, but you know, school sucks. Shoutouts to my boy Beeman. Get like 90% of my cards from him. Shoutouts to Bortle for having this on his channel. Shoutouts to Anonymous Bards on TCG Player. Bestseller in TCG. No contest. I'm sure I'm forgetting people. Fritz. Shoutouts to Fritz. I'm sure I'm forgetting more people, but if you're in any of my Discords or group chats, a shout out to you. Shout out to Mark. I'm sorry. And I think that's about it.